up, everybody? My name is Alex Kelly. We are back here with another episode of the Furloughed Film Talks podcast with my brother Ryan.
What's up, everybody?
We are here on Wednesday. I guess this is just our day for doing the show now.
For this week, sure.
For here on till eternity ends, we will be doing these on Wednesdays.
Until we change it next week.
Yeah, until we change it in the summer when I'm home way more and we can do like 5 episodes a week. Which we will totally do.
No.
So keep around. But this is an extra special one. This is one that we've been talking about for a while.
Yeah.
Life has gotten kind of in the way and slowed down us getting to this one. But this is our 100th fucking episode.
Yeah, big 100. Century mark.
Ryan, I want to shout out only one person right now. Screw all the haters and everybody else. Big props.
We have haters?
Oh, yeah, we do. Max included. Big props to Ryan. He has been a driving force in it, so I want to thank you, Ryan.
Oh, well, thank you, Alex. Yes. I could not do this without your beautiful spunkiness over here.
My swankiness?
Spunkiness.
Oh, spunkiness.
Yeah.
No,
all the spunk.
All the spunky spunk? That sounds bad.
It does.
No, it's been awesome, though. This has been an incredible ride that we've been on so far. About a year now. 100 episodes. It's insane.
Oh, it's been, what, a year and 2 weeks now?
Exactly. And 2 weeks yesterday. Most people don't even get past 5 episodes. We've made it to 100. So that says a lot about us and how much
time everyone else.
Time we have to waste.
We are winners.
Yes. As always, we do this to talk movies and to get info out for people who are interested in movies just like we are. So that is what the goal of this is for you guys. So always make sure to follow us on Instagram to get the latest news at Furloughed Film Talks. At Furloughed Film, I'm always retweeting different stuff. So if you're wondering what the latest movie news is, you can definitely go there. You'll see all the latest stuff. We live stream all of our episodes on YouTube, and you can get them on any platform that you get podcasts. We've got some crazy stuff coming up next month. We will be in Oklahoma City for the Dead Center Film Festival, which we are really excited about. We've got a lot of really cool stuff getting ramped up there.
Looks like we're going to have other podcasters other than ourselves there, right?
Yes. So the Cinematropolis is the name of the podcast. So it's going to be like the in-house podcast for Dead Center Film.
What are we, the Journeyman podcast?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So we are going to either hop on their show, or they're going to Caleb, who's the guy that heads that up, is going to hop on our show. We haven't figured out the logistics of all that just yet, but we might have an Oklahoma director in person for the show that we are going to be doing live from the film festival.
Cool.
So it's going to be really cool. We're working on a lot of really cool stuff for that, so definitely keep June 12th.
We really need to look into like
books.
T-shirts or something.
Yes,
that would be something.
I know a guy actually.
One, okay.
Do you know guys? You know how to make them.
What, T-shirts?
Yeah.
What do you mean make them?
Well, how'd you do your shirts for DDG?
Oh, I mean those were just like embroidered shirts.
Yeah.
We need like screen printed T-shirts or something. We need like nicely well done. Like we need to get whatever company like Lose does to like do our T-shirts.
Yeah, that's Pan Ector. I've tried to reach out to them, but they never reached back out to me. But this is gonna be a long winding road. Garrett's sister's boyfriend, works for Custom Ink.
Okay.
So I need to talk with him. He's probably gonna be able to get us a really good deal on something.
Isn't that like the like online?
Yeah.
One. Okay.
It's pretty good quality. We've gotten shirts from them before.
Okay.
From CCA, and they're really great. So I think that's an avenue that we need to go down. So, but that's all the stuff that we've got coming up. Today we are going to be talking about a movie we watched last night. Very unique movie. True story, very intense. It is called Profile. It is directed by Timur Bekmambetov.
Apologize for that butchering.
Yeah, he directed Wanted with Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy.
Yep.
As well as Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite
classics
titles ever. So we will talk about that at the end of the show. Before that, we will get into the merger that happened this week, as well as a potential purchase from Amazon that they're about to just drop in their cart and
you
pay
really
billions
need
of dollars.
The terminology right here. It's not a merger. It was a spinoff.
It's a spin-off and merger.
Not really.
But to spin off, okay, so we're real fast because it's a spin off, and then do they own Discovery?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're just like, okay, never mind. He is correct. A spin off between Warner Media and Discovery into one giant glob that they still have not figured
It's
out.
some other operating entity that is going to be its own thing.
Yes.
Separate from
AT&T.
Right.
Okay. All right. Ryan has got that correct. Anywho, we will talk about that in a second. We will also talk about Kumail Nanjiani.
This is fucking weird.
Have you heard about this?
No.
I just looked this up. Did you just look at it on your phone?
Yeah, I just saw the thing you sent me.
No idea what it was. It just, as soon as I saw Kumail and Chippendales and Founder, I was like, we have to talk about this. So
This is odd because is the Chippendale founder like Indian or something?
I don't know because it says in
That
Hulu's.
seems like a strange American dream story. Like
Yeah.
an Indian immigrant comes to America, it
to make
creates the
Chippendales,
first fucking men's strip club.
which like I guarantee you that like 40% of the people who will listen to this have never heard of Chippendales. Like the only,
Who hasn't heard of Chippendales?
quite a few people because like we've always heard of Chippendales. This is gonna be super weird,
Yeah.
but from the SNL like skit where it's Chris Farley.
Chris Farley. And,
So like,
yeah.
but like, I don't think it's as big in like the cultural lexicon anymore as it was like back then when they did. That
this is
skit.
also gonna sound weird. Like mom would reference it all the time.
Oh yeah, that sounds super strange. But we will get into
She
that.
would.
It's a Hulu immigrant series, so I think that's why.
He's got
So-
the perfect body for it. I mean, good
Hell
God, he's
yeah, he
ripped as
does. He's
shit.
gotten jacked. But first, we got to touch on this because it has been the belle of the Twitter ball the last couple of days. Knives Out just keeps like throwing out castings, and there's been rumors, and all this kind of crazy shit is going on. But for sure, the latest casting from this is Leslie Odom Jr., who was in Hamilton. He was also in Regina King's One Night in Miami that came out this past year.
Every fucking time you say that name, I think it's a woman.
Regina King?
No, Leslie Odom Jr.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
And or Lamar Odom's cousin.
It's Leslie Odom Jr., whatever. They're not related at all.
So,
Well, Jesus Christ, Ryan.
I'm just
Anywho.
saying, like that's what it reminds me of.
No, this
Reminds me
cast
of when Lamar Odom and Kim Kardashian came to Dallas.
came to Dallas for like a literal second.
A little fucking 3 weeks.
What's up, Vinny? I can barely see it over there. I can just see sup, guys. I know it's
He said,
Vinny.
"Sup, guys?"
Vinny, you okay? Let's do a cheers real fast. 100th episode.
Okay.
Vinny is probably 1B to Emily as top fan.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll
for
go.
sure.
We'll go top fan. Super awesome dude.
C.
Drop your socials in the chat, Vinny, so that we can throw those out here in a second. But you have been hyping us up for a while now. You always come and hop on these live streams, so it's super cool for you, or super cool for us to have you here all the time. So thank you to you. It's super badass that you do this with us. But Leslie Odom Jr. is going to be in Knives Out too. There was also rumors because Ryan Johnson followed her on Instagram.
Yeah,
That-
Florence Pugh, right?
That Florence Pugh might be somebody that might be cast. If they get, because at that point it would be Florence Pugh, Leslie Odom Jr.,
Mhm.
Dave Bautista, Daniel Craig, Katherine Hahn.
Right.
I'm missing somebody here. Holy shit.
Monet.
Oh, Edward Norton.
Ed Norton.
And it's, yeah, I think that's it.
You said Monet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and Janelle Monáe. Yeah,
Monáe.
Janelle Monáe.
Yeah.
Dude, it'd be insane. Like, it'd be the most ridiculous cast that we've seen in a while. And do you think he'd be getting this type of cast even if it weren't a Netflix movie?
Yeah, for sure. Because like the first one was so successful that like he was gonna get this cast regardless of what he did.
And the first cast wasn't shabby at all. The first cast was absolutely ridiculous too. So like,
Yeah, for sure.
like he is just, and I know like we've said this multiple times before, like we will continue to beat this dead horse, I guess. We don't really like Ryan Johnson, but like, you know, he did a fantastic job with this movie, and now he is hyping up this second one even more through all of these castings. And when he just keeps adding people to this, it's like, holy
Yeah, and I think like
shit.
you know, not only is it the factor of the first movie did so well, but
Yeah.
also like all these actors and actresses, like Daniel Craig, I think is at like that such highest tier of actor nowadays that
Yes.
all the other actors and actresses are like, okay, well, Daniel Craig is like obviously the lead in this movie. I would love to fucking work with him.
Yeah, I want to go work with James Bond. Like, hell yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
of course.
Like, and James Bond doing a Kentucky accent. Like, is James Bond doing something absolutely outside of what any James Bond
Which he's
actor has done before?
He's amazing at. Like, he was so good in the Logan Lucky.
Yeah.
Who did that? Oh, shit.
That was Steven Soderbergh.
Soderbergh, yeah.
Who did the
Soderbergh
Oscars
film.
this year.
He directed the Oscars?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, anyways, he did basically the same accent in Logan Lucky.
Just a little bit more unhinged than
Very
Knives
much
Out.
unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a badass character. And all, indications point to that Rian Johnson is capable of coming up and, like, directing a very good mystery / kind of winding plot story. So, he's not so good at Star Wars, but he does do what he does well.
But he's good at subverting expectations, and so when it's something
he loves doing that.
Yeah, when it's an original piece, like, it's great because I went into that movie expecting one thing, and it was completely different from what I envisioned, and it was amazing. When it comes to something that is already established and has this lore, it doesn't work as well because you're going to really piss off people. You're going to piss off a lot of people who maybe like it a little too much, who are a little too invested into this type of shit and take it way too seriously, and that's what happened. Not to say that's right, but that is just what kind of happened with Star Wars and what has kind of made him a weird character in pop culture. Maybe not among the indie art house people, but people who like nerdy shit. And it's kind of well, this motherfucker. So
so exciting casting.
So
just cool.
Leslie Odom is just a badass, so it's going to be really, really interesting to see what he is going to be doing in that role. But let's get into some Chippendale news.
Okay.
I am very excited to see what this is all about. I have it up. So, Oscar and Emmy nominee Kumail Nanjiani is set to portray Solomon Steve Banerjee, the Indian-American entrepreneur who founded Chippendales, in an 8-episode limited series at Hulu. So it was...
Yeah, so from this man's Wikipedia page, Solomon Steve Banerjee, born in Bombay, India, was an Indian-American entrepreneur and founder of Chippendales.
Yeah.
After operating a mobile gas station and a failed backgammon club, Banerjee bought a failed Los Angeles club named Destiny 2 and turned it into a nightclub that featured, female mud wrestling and a female exotic dancing night. The 1979 edition of a male stripper dance troupe performing to target female audience was the first of its kind in the United States.
So this says...
here we go. Banerjee partnered with Paul Snider, husband and eventual killer of Playboy playmate Dorothy Stratton,
Holy
that
shit.
shortly afterwards developed a more theatrical show with Emmy Award-winning producer Nick DeNoia. So yeah, this guy was...
Jesus. Well, this says, immigrant will tell the true story of Banerjee, detailing the insane, darkly comedic, crime-ridden story behind the unique male review that became a cultural phenomenon. So, yeah, it sounds like there's going to be... Well, and this is great because, if there is a real comedic background to it...
How could there not be?
Yeah,
honestly.
Then Kumail Nanjiani is going to be, perfect for that. Because his his comedic timing and chops in Silicon Valley were top tier in that show. It was some of the best of the show.
Yeah.
And so, if he's pushed into the front and able to do that this entire series for 8 episodes, that can't be anything but really, really good.
Yeah, it should be fucking... I really hope it's, a hilarious Hulu documentary about it.
Yeah.
Because, I don't think you can... is there a way to do a Chippendales documentary and just have it be, super serious and not be kind of,
No, it has to be tongue-in-cheek a little bit. And where did they say the club was that he bought? The very first one?
It's in Los Angeles, right?
Okay, so...
Yeah, Los Angeles.
I was hoping it was I was hoping it was going to be like Miami, where it'd be a little bit more wheels off in, the 70s or 80s whenever he bought it. Just absolutely insane. But LA was probably the exact same way back
Oh yeah.
What year was it?
No, it's 75 in West
Oh
LA.
yeah, dude, that place.
So
is
he bought the
nuts.
club in 75, but in 1979 he renamed it to Chippendales, and began hosting exotic dance nights for women. So yeah, I mean,
It's like
fucking
right around the time.
LA in the 70s. I'm sure.
70s and 80s during like the Showtime Lakers and just like the absolute insanity of that time period.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's batshit crazy.
Nah, and this is interesting. It was reported in October 2020 that a feature film starring Oscar nominee Dev Patel as Banerjee was also in the works with I, Tanya's Craig Gillespie directing. That I'd be interested to see as well. What's up?
Dude, I don't know if we should say this on. Hold on.
Oh my god.
First off, though, guess where the second Chippendales was?
Has to be Dallas.
I mean, third Chippendales.
Dallas.
Dallas, yes.
Sweet. Where in Dallas? It probably doesn't say. But
Does not say.
damn
But
it.
the last little paragraph in the history of Chippendales is in 1987, Banerjee hired a hitman to murder his choreographer, Nick DeNoia. He also plotted to have two other former associates killed. Banerjee was arrested in 1993 and hanged himself in his cell a year later.
Holy shit.
Yeah, okay.
Dude.
How has this story not been fucking
This
made
story's
before?
gonna be nuts, dude.
I stand corrected. This might be actually like a pretty like
dark,
serious kind of.
No, I think it will be because it says darkly comedic. Like this is gonna
Oh
be
my God.
dark as shit. But like
That's fucking crazy.
the
dude.
first couple years of this will be like really comedic, like really funny, kind of lighthearted. But as he probably like gets into, you know, the more he like starts making a ton of money, or like he gets really serious and like they start expanding a lot, like he probably gets in over his head type of deal, and then just like gets way too big of a head, and then he's like, I'm gonna like fucking kill people. Like,
Well, yeah, but like, why? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see like why would he have beef with his choreographer, right? Like, was he choreographer like banging one of the male strippers behind his back? And, like
Maybe, I don't know.
took his favorite male stripper.
here's the interesting thing though. I'm gonna pose this question, and I hope I phrase this right.
Okay.
Did you see I, Tanya? That's not the question I had in mind.
No,
Damn it. Okay.
I should.
The question I was going to ask you, and it's what I'm posing to myself right now, is would I rather see a Kumail Nanjiani led show of this that is being pinned by the people that are doing Pam and Tommy, which is that Sebastian Stan and Lily James, Pamela Anderson, Tommy Jones, or Tommy Lee
Tom Lee
show,
Jones. Yeah.
like that team, or would I rather see Dev Patel and the I, Tanya director doing a movie? And I'm kind of leaning to the I, Tanya guy, because like I, Tanya is a underrated like biopic movie.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
I mean, have the former done anything else? The people who are doing the Tom Lee Jones thing?
Not that I've seen. Hold on. We've written by Robert Siegel, who's also penning. Let's see what he's done. He was a journalist. Hell yeah. No wait, sorry. American screenwriter. Big Fan Cruise, The Onion movie. Oh, he did The Founder. Okay.
What's that?
It was Michael Keaton as the guy who like founded McDonald's,
Oh yeah.
which was interesting.
That
Like,
was a decent movie.
yeah, it wasn't my favorite. Oh, he did The Wrestler too.
Huh. Well, that's,
So-
I mean, like, he has experience doing historical, like, doing a movie or shows based on historical events.
Yeah,
right? So,
and he wrote. So he wrote The Wrestler. The Wrestler was directed by Darren Aronofsky.
was that the one with Mickey Warwick? Or,
Yep.
Okay.
So like that's an incredible movie. It makes me a little bit worried because like, The Founder was good. Wait. Oh, so he didn't direct this. He wrote this. Okay, so he wrote The Founder as well, but did not direct it. So I guess they don't have a director for this yet. They just have Robert Siegel attached as the writer. So that's an interesting kind of, nuts and bolts of it to figure out, see who will direct that. There'll probably be multiple directors because it's going to be an 8-part series.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that makes
that's
sense.
kind of like how it always kind of goes. But I'm excited for that. That's going to be fucking crazy. Like,
yeah. Now that like we know a little bit more about the guy, like
yeah. Oh
his
my
life
God.
sounds fairly insane.
Yeah, like I kind of want to do more research on that guy and see.
No, let's just like
We'll just wait.
yeah, let's just
Wait
wait for the show to come out.
See what
Do we have a release date or anything?
No, there's so very little information about this. It sounds like they've just kind of announced this and we're gonna like kind of develop it and it'll probably be 2023,
Okay.
the earliest that we see this.
What a crazy like career path to go from Silicon Valley to a major Marvel movie to doing like a Hulu
But yeah, and in
like
between that,
Chippendale show.
in between that, he did The Big Sick, which was like basically his love story with his like wife or something.
Pretty much. Did you ever see it?
No, I don't think I
It was
did.
really good. It was really good actually.
I
but-
wanted.
I mean, it wasn't really his love story. It was like him meeting his wife and his wife almost dying.
Yeah, that's what. What did I say? Did I say love story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I did see it. It just didn't leave as much of an impression as I was expecting.
I think it might have been a little bit overrated for like what it actually was, but I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
Because I think like, and this is gonna be super weird, but like when I think of The Big Sick, I think of another movie called What If, which has Daniel Radcliffe, and
The same girl.
it might be the same girl.
No.
Yeah, I think it is.
It is. Yeah.
So I think of that movie just because it's the same girl. I love that movie. Like, yeah, but like I love that I love the Daniel Radcliffe movie because it kind of came out of nowhere when I watched it. And those are like the best movies that you just have no idea.
You love it just because it's Daniel Radcliffe.
That too. I mean,
Yeah.
You've never seen? No, hold on. We've seen Swiss Army Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we saw it in
okay.
theaters together.
I keep trying to get Garrett to freaking see that movie, and he will not watch it.
Like he just doesn't want to.
I think he's kind of opposed to it because like he knows what the story's about, and he's just kind of like, oh, it seems kind of weird. And I'm like, dude, you have.
It's an amazing.
You
movie.
have to watch this movie. Like, it is incredible.
That's really silly.
But
That's really
like, there's that
silly.
movie, and then he did Horns, which like
That was strange.
that was a weird movie.
Wait, you still talking about Daniel Radcliffe? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? Who do you think I was talking about?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of what other Daniel Radcliffe movies. Oh, there's
Well,
Guns
Akimbo.
Akimbo.
Was fucking crazy.
That movie was wild.
I love that movie. Anyways,
I loved like, and that's like such a separate conversation. Just being like, I love actors that just go off and do like batshit wild like stuff. Like they're literally just taking the wildest like scripts that are handed to them and doing it. Like him with Miracle Workers.
well, yeah, because I mean, he came out of like 10 years of doing Harry Potter,
Yeah.
and he was like, okay, I've got more money I know what to do with for
Yeah.
like the rest of my life, so might as well do something nuts.
No, it's so much fun to watch.
It's exactly what Robert Pattinson did too after.
Yeah, like, and that's how it should
Twilight.
be. And it's one of the things where it's like, it sucks because I think there's a lot of actors who don't have that mindset because they feel kind of trapped by just going for the biggest thing. Like, and so it's like,
Well, they're only really able to do that is because they had so much
The
success
biggest,
early
yeah.
on, right?
Yeah.
Like Robert Pattinson did Harry Potter and Twilight. So like he's set for life basically.
So
Daniel
you can get
Radcliffe is
eaten
set for
alive
life.
by a. You can be eaten alive by a pelican. Lighthouse.
Fuck you. Oh yeah, dude, that show was great. That movie was amazing.
That movie was one of the more wild ass like movies I've ever seen. But that does not mean it was one of the best movies that I've ever seen. That sucks. Do you want to answer some questions from Vinny real fast?
Yeah, we only have one.
This ought to be good.
We only have one question.
Did he throw his socials in there?
He did. It's
Okay.
Vinny at Vinny Montagna.
So spell out Montagna.
I'm sorry if I'm definitely mispronouncing that. It's VINNIEMONTEGNA.
Yeah.
That's on Instagram and Twitter.
Cool.
And then he asked, did you guys see it was announced that J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves will be working on an animated Batman series?
I did.
If that's true, color me excited because
Have you not heard about this yet?
maybe like
So it's
I knew there was gonna be like a like Gotham style TV show to be as like a companion to the Batman.
Yeah, so
That's gonna be live action, but I hadn't heard about an animated.
So they're calling
show.
it Batman Caped Crusader, and it's Bruce Timm, Matt Reeves, and J.J. Abrams. So,
Did you see the picture of the Riddler this morning?
yes.
Okay.
Shit, we should have probably talked about that. Let's just talk.
Well,
We'll do
no,
like
yeah.
a DC wrap up real fast.
Yeah, we'll talk about the show and then we'll talk about the Riddler.
Yeah, so it's another animated series that they're doing with Batman for HBO Max with J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves. J.J. Abrams is getting really involved with like superhero shit lately. Like him and his kid wrote a superhero comic book
right?
series.
Yeah.
I think it was Spider-Man. I could be totally wrong on that, but yeah. So they're doing this like Batman, and here, okay, I didn't realize like this is legit, like the thing that they put out from Warner Brothers. This actually looks dope as hell. This is like the poster they put out with the announcement.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so very pointy ears, supposed to be very, very bat-like.
He's Batman.
Oh, okay, so that's why. Tim is one of the primary minds behind DC's animated series, having co-created and produced the original Batman the Animated Series through its 3-year run beginning in 1992. So, like, one of the best and most acclaimed, like, superhero animated shows of all time is Batman the Animated Series. So to get him in and Matt Reeves and Abrams in, like, that could be freaking insane. Like, that will be something to watch for sure.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Then we've got Gimp the Riddler.
Gimp? Oh, like a Gimp suit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, it's new. It's interesting. It's like it resembles like what he did, like how he, in the trailer duct taped that guy to death.
Yeah.
Basically. That's literally what happened. He duct taped him to death.
No, I think that's a really interesting like look for the Riddler, and anybody who thinks like that's going to be his final like look,
well, it's
in the movie, like
pretty final.
No. I mean, like, he's gonna go through different looks through the movie. Like, he'll go through like this weird like Zodiac killer type thing, and then he'll progress into like the suit, and like it'll be different. He'll progress throughout the movie. Just like Catwoman is not gonna have just a
knit cap or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, over either this movie or the rest of the movies, like that will progress. It will get newer or better, and that will not be the final Riddler costume.
I hope not. I hope that is the final Riddler costume.
I don't
it's
think
like
it
super, it way off from like the typical Riddler costume, and it's gritty and dark, and I like it.
It is gritty and dark, but it's not like, because you can do gritty and dark kind of like how like they did, because the Joker look in The Dark Knight was very different from normal Jokers.
Sure.
And like Two-Face was very different from normal Two-Faces that you've seen, especially in the 90s when they did Two-Face. There is something to be said to do that type of thing, but like with the Riddler, you do still need, because they did that in Gotham. They got to his like real Riddler look later in the show.
Yeah,
that was more comic accurate, but like I think there can be almost something where he's in a suit later on, like he's kind of fully realized himself as the Riddler, and you don't have like question marks all over the fucking suit, but maybe do something kind of like, and some people might not understand this, but like, when they're at the NFL draft and they've got the shit on like the inside.
Yeah, it's the lining of their suit jacket.
You have like question marks there or something.
Well, the Gotham Riddler never had question marks anywhere on his suit.
Yeah, it was just always green.
It's
so
just
just do something like that, like a very dark emerald green.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess.
No, I don't know. I think like, I don't think that's gonna be the final look, but I like it. Like, I think it's very different, and I think it speaks to what they're trying to achieve in this movie, which is to show him as a serial killer, as somebody who is to be feared and to be
very off his rocker.
Yeah, like fucking insane. So like, and who is obsessed with Batman. Like, I think what they're going for is perfect.
I love that the calendar too. I need that calendar.
Yeah, dude.
Like, that's like where the images came off. It was like they released like the Batman calendar.
You gonna go buy a Batman calendar, Ryan?
We'll see. Maybe.
Was it the 2022 Batman calendar?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. It's just a 6-month calendar for the rest of 2021.
I mean, they make like 18-month calendars, so it could be like.
Oh yeah, it could be
like
the rest of this
2021, 2022.
Yeah. I love that they've made Paul Dano the Riddler. Like, I cannot. And speaking of Swiss Army Man, like I love that he's going to be in this. So
who's playing the Penguin?
Colin Farrell.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
I'm super excited for this.
I cannot wait for this movie,
the movie's
dude.
gonna be fucking nuts.
Like the Batman suit alone is so sick.
Yeah.
With like the gun parts and makes the Batman logo and like he's got like this shiny, so cool.
It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be absolutely wild, and which is why they're giving Matt Reeves like all this other Batman shit because he's obviously like knocked it out of the park.
Right. Which, yeah, I don't want to get into the whole DC thing, but
which we can get into in Warner Media because they're just like spinning off Warner Media into some shit.
Good,
great
transition.
segues. We're 100 episodes in and we've got segues down. Nah, man, like they're gonna spin off Warner Media and join it up with Discovery, and Amazon might be purchasing MGM, and we've just got fucking crazy shit happening all over.
I want to
the
make
place.
sure I'm right about who owns Discovery.
You do that while I just sit here in silence.
Well, why don't you just talk about the announcement, Alex?
Warner Media, AT&T bought Warner Media a couple years ago for billions of dollars. They have absolutely screwed up everything that has happened over there at WB and Warner Media and DC Films and any other movie that you would want to talk about. And now they are understanding that they have completely screwed it all up, and they are basically spinning it off onto its own with Discovery and making it...
So I guess it is kind of a merger, because... Yeah, Discovery is...
Thank you. That's what I fucking thought, man. Like, it's so, like, convoluted that you just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a spin-off / merger. So they're spinning off Warner Brothers from AT&T and merging that entity with the standalone entity of Discovery.
Because who's Discovery owned by?
60% Discovery and 40% Hasbro.
Okay, so they're there.
So I'm guessing Hasbro is completely... I have no who fucking knows like, what's going on behind the scenes there, but
so
either
so they have to be selling Warner Media to Discovery and merging it all together.
No, I think they're spinning it off, and Discovery and Hasbro and AT&T are all going to be joint owners in this new entity. There's no way.
I see what you mean.
There's no way AT&T is unloading Warner Media.
But
There's
I thought
no way.
So so like that was what
that'd be an insane like story.
Yeah, and that's what I thought I saw somewhere was like they spent $65 billion on Warner Brothers, and then they're having to sell it for like $5 billion, which like that math alone doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, they're probably paying $5 billion to the owners of Discovery and Hasbro
to merge it
with the spin-off of Warner Media.
That doesn't make any damn sense either, because that means they're basically doubling down on Warner Media. Like that would be like, hey, we know we've screwed this up really bad, but like
what are the options gonna do? They just gonna shut down the Warner Studios? Like
they sell it. Like they would have to have sold it by now. Like
no, they're not.
Which this also kicks up. This also kicks up a really interesting conversation of
because Warner owns like what HBO, like
they
everything,
insane properties. Like
they're not gonna
no,
but they're not gonna get rid of that. It's like a cash cow for them.
But this also opens up the interesting conversation of it might be happening now where NBC Universal and Viacom CBS merge. Like that's been rumored now. Like this whole thing with Warner Media and Discovery might speed up that merger.
I'd be surprised if the Justice Department allowed that to happen.
Which that's what everybody's like. There's no way that gets through an antitrust. Lawsuit or review, because like that 2 of the 4 major networks under one like company,
there's no way
cannot like be allowed to happen. But at the same time, like how can they allow like Amazon to gobble up MGM, which is not as big of a like example, but like also Warner Media spinning off and like gobbling up Discovery,
because there's not like that the like monumental level of difference between CBS and NBC merging versus like everything encompassed under like it's basically like just Warner Media bought Discovery. That's like the
that's why like I didn't understand why this was such a big deal, because like Discovery is such a like
it's like a nothing channel.
Non-player in all of
right.
shit.
So yeah, I mean, this is like barely news. It's just like notable that AT&T is,
done with Warner Media.
they're not done with it. They still own it. Like,
But they're understanding what their mistakes are and like recognizing some of those and having to like figure out how to fix them. Like,
yeah, it doesn't mean they're done with it though.
No, okay, so done is not the right word.
Yeah, they're trying something new. They're like rebranding, the ugly like Benjamin Button baby, basically.
Okay.
I don't know, right?
I just want to see like what the ramifications are of this because I think like I'd be really interested. Like basically, the Amazon MGM thing is almost a done deal. Like that's something where MGM has been up for sale for a couple months now, and Amazon has been like the biggest player in wanting to buy that. That to me would be a huge domino to fall, and that could happen within the next month or so. Of like,
I don't know. I mean, like
an agreement at least.
How big of a studio is MGM Studios?
I keep
like,
asking this every time, but they don't have James Bond anymore, do they?
That's Sony.
Okay, they used to have James Bond.
Yeah.
So they're at least they're still one of the biggest. They were one of the biggest studios in Hollywood.
And I mean, I guess they're like top 5, but they're like 5 of the top 5.
But I think it shows like how serious. Like we all know how serious Amazon is, but like it further cements how serious they are about really getting into the entertainment.
No, yeah, it is a big deal for a streaming platform to buy like one of the biggest studios. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, it'll be super interesting when that happens.
Yeah, so all this is gonna be really.
And I mean, we've been talking like that. It's I think something like this has been inevitable for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah. But this is gonna be all something to watch as it all moves forward and what the ramifications are for it. But it's just kind of cool to talk about, Ryan.
Oh, see.
Ryan, what movie did we watch last night?
We saw Profile
By Timur Bekmambetov.
Wow.
I screwed that up.
Try again.
Bekmambetov.
Okay.
Bekmetov.
Why don't you give like the tagline that Alex so gladly gave us?
What?
Remember he was like, is that the movie where?
Oh yes. So this movie's called Profile. One of my friends from I've known for a while. I let him know that we went and saw this movie, and he said, "Oh, is that the one where the girl like falls in love with she catfishes a jihadi?"
It's where
yeah, pretty much.
So it's basically this movie is a journalist catfishes a terrorist.
Which I want to start
in Syria.
I want to start this conversation off with this.
Okay.
Having read more into this after the fact, I feel like there's kind of a disservice with that storyline because like in real life she did not have that at all with this guy. Like she did not fall for him at all. She despised him.
Oh, so in real life like she didn't have the
no.
Okay, so you have to kind of explain that in the movie they depict this as the journalist like actually at least to a certain extent fell in love with the terrorist.
Yes.
In the process of like trying to build this story, like just use information to build his story. And like the craziest thing is they were really catfishing each other, right? Because like
that's a spoiler, but yeah,
a little bit of a spoiler. But the journalist was catfishing him to like write a story, and he was catfishing her to like sell her into sex slavery.
Yeah, which like if you like, you should have like fucking seen coming like really early in the movie.
I didn't see that shit at all. I thought like,
but
I thought he was like heads over heels for her, and
but
like,
that's how good at his job he was. Like that was the scary part. Like
yeah, that's the scariest part of that. That like,
yes,
he already has 3 wives, and like part of his job is being like the sidekick to the most like wanted ISIS terrorist was like recruiting women into sex slavery.
Yes, the scary part of all of that is how good he was at recruiting those women.
He was pretty fucking good.
He was good, and maybe it's just like the actor was really good at portraying this, but like how it was portrayed was super scary, and how good he was at like getting her involved in like this mindset of wanting to come to fucking Syria.
Yeah,
of all places.
Like, it's not only a crime, like she would be traveling to a like terrorist organization to marry a terrorist, you know, pretty sure it's a crime in UK.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, I mean,
so real fast. So let's back up. So this movie starts out. It's a British journalist who is wanting to do a story on how European women are being, lured into ISIS, and who are being lured into this kind of, new religion, being converted into this. And she does so by creating a fake Facebook, and she gets connected with a character named Bilal. Her name is Melody, or her fake person's name is Melody. Her real name in the movie is Amy Whitaker.
Yeah.
Which is not her real name. But as she kind of gets into this, she is catfishing this terrorist, this ISIS agent, into like giving her this information about what their operation is.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it is very clear that part of the reason that he became an ISIS terrorist is she can understand. She can see why he kind of went down this hole.
Right.
And so that's where that like infatuation, or that moment, where that reason why she falls for him makes sense. She can understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, she can sympathize with him because I think, like, I guess the story was true. Like, at a certain point, they share with each other that their, like, mothers had died. And I guess, like, hers really... I don't know if that was, like...
I don't know. I'm going to get the book and read it.
It seemed like, in the movie at least, that it was, like, a fact that her mother had also died. Because I think that was, like, kind of instrumental in her... like actually falling for this guy. It's also interesting to point out, we should like explain how this movie was kind of like shot,
which is by far the most interesting part of this movie.
It made this movie so much more like engrossing and kind of like makes it feel like almost like a virtual reality, like you're actually living this act.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a movie.
So basically, this is the entire movie is a screenshot of her laptop, and it goes back and forth between her like talking with her boyfriend and boss and friends on Skype, her doing all the stuff on Facebook in order to create a fake account and reach out to like Muslims and ISIS. It also, when she finally like starts connecting with the terrorists in Syria, she starts recording the Skype calls. So she like will pull up a recording of those calls, and like it's like just chronologically it goes from beginning to end, how she like started the story, how she got in contact with all these people, the effects it had on her real life in terms of her relationships with her boyfriend, with her friends, how that devolved. And I mean, is so like it's unlike any other movie you'll really see, because it's not a movie like live action. It's a movie of like it's shown from the perspective of like how she operationally did this on her laptop, and it's shown through like showing her screen as she does these actions, and through like the recordings of her conversations with ISIS terrorists.
It's very much like you are looking over the shoulder of somebody as they like go through their laptop. Like
it's probably very familiar to like looking over the shoulder of an NSA agent as they track.
Dude, it was the most like you were mirroring her laptop the entire time, which like at parts can get really monotonous.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. Like at the very beginning, the first like 10-15 minutes was very like I had concerns. I thought this was gonna be very slow, and like there's no dialogue. It was just her like clicking through Facebook and clicking through Skype and shit like that. But it like really picked up and came into its own, after that.
And on the back end of it. But like this is a movie where it kind of starts out slow and you have to kind of get used to that very different style. But when they get into her kind of falling for him and getting into the crux of what this could potentially mean and the seriousness of it, that's when you're just holding your butt the entire movie. Like, especially when it got to the point where she's like, she's falling for the guy, and now she's like actually considering making the trip to Syria. Oh yeah,
because like she agrees to marry him over Skype, and then there's a kind of three-pronged pronged journey to get to Syria, where she has to fly from London to Amsterdam, fly from Amsterdam to Turkey, and then cross the border into Syria from Turkey. And she fucking goes to Amsterdam.
She actually and in real life she went to Amsterdam.
Really?
Like that whole thing played out like that. Where
Yeah.
Like she gets to Amsterdam and like calls him, and he's like, oh well, like I'm not going to meet you. It's going to be this now.
Mhm.
And like that whole fucking thing happened, and that's when like her editor in real life was like, "You get your ass home now. Like,
Yeah.
this is over."
But I mean, in the movie, like she goes to Amsterdam, she's like ready to fly to Turkey, and just as you said, like the guy says, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to meet you," and that's when she's able to kind of discover that, oh, he's about to sell me into the sex slave trade,
And he's done it like 3 times already that week or something.
That week,
Yeah.
So man, I mean, it is so. It's not only like so insane, but it's like so visceral watching
Yeah.
it. You know, it didn't feel like a movie, and it really the entire time it's like a really really cringe-inducing, awkward thing to watch.
It's so weird, and like
It's really weird, but it's really profound to see like how. I mean, it takes you as close to being like actually in the shoes of this person as they are being like, you know, groomed and converted to
Yeah.
a terrorist wife.
dude, it's just like, and Valine Kane plays Amy Whitaker. She killed it. Like and that's the weirdest part about this movie is like they have to do this basically through Zoom and Skype and like or FaceTime and Skype. So it's the weirdest way to have to act. And Shazad Latif and Christine Adams, who plays Vic, and Morgan Watkins as the boyfriend is Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, all of them were incredible. Like, they all were doing it in such a different way that they're probably used to. That, like, the way that they conveyed the different emotions and just the different, like, scenarios that were going on, they did fucking fantastic job. So,
And I would argue this movie is actually just a story of Matt going from his worst life to his best life.
oh, for sure. Yeah. So, getting away from a fucking journalist.
Insane journalist and going to like a, you know, blonde dime piece.
Yeah.
Butchered that.
Yes, you
Jesus.
did, Ryan.
Okay.
Ryan, what would you give Profile on a Max Gendo Head rating scale?
This would get a solid 4 out of 5 Jindo Max heads for me.
We are on, it's perfect symmetry. It's our 100th episode. We have the exact same rating for Profile.
Perfect.
4 out of 5.
Like immediately when I walked out of the theater on this one, I was like, yeah, it was definitely a 4.
No, that was an like you said engrossing, I said intense,
Mm-hmm.
I said wild ass. Like, it is a wild ass movie to watch.
Yeah.
I think if you are interested in, not even just like, I think really knowing more about like how that type of shit happens, or just like seeing a movie that will like have you on the edge of the seat for most of the movie, like,
yes,
check this movie out. Like, it is really, really cool.
It's one of those few movies that like really lived up to its trailer.
Yes, yeah, for
Like,
sure. Because
it
the trailer,
is-
when we saw it in theaters, we were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, because the entire trailer is like very hairpin, and like the
Yeah.
entire trailer is just bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what is happening? That's exactly how the movie was like.
Yeah,
I mean, you were literally just on the edge of your seat every second of this movie.
because when we saw the trailer, they're like, "What is this?" And it like it keeps going. You're like, "What in the world?" It's like, "Okay, we have to see this.
Yeah.
Like, this is nuts." So I would definitely recommend. And he like taking a chance and doing it in this style. Kudos to them for doing it this way. Like, they this was not a movie that they had to do it this way because of COVID. They shot this and like made it back in 2018. So like this is had been done for a while. Like, they did not need to do it this way, but they did because that was the best way that they could make it, and they did a good job with it. So like,
Did a great job.
go check out Profile. It's in theaters right now. If you feel safe going to a theater, it's in a lot of Dallas area theaters for sure. It's probably playing around you somewhere. You can probably get it on VOD here very soon. But Profile, check it out.
Yeah. You know what movie I really want to see also that comes out this month? I want to see that New Order.
That movie looks
Because that looks
nuts.
insane. Really, really crazy too.
Yeah, that one, it's kind of like, well, we watched the trailer for the new Purge movie, which I had no idea they were making another Purge movie.
Of course they are.
So it's kind of the same idea, but this looks like it's done way better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really want to see New Order. That should be a pretty crazy movie too.
Yeah. So. All right, we got one more question from
All right.
the old Vinny. Do you guys see the trailer for the new Liam Neeson, Lawrence Fishburne movie called Ice Road?
No.
No, we will watch that and we'll do a trailer
it's
park roundup.
Ice Road.
Ice Road.
The Ice Road. Yeah, we will get that on our next episode. Oh, it's Netflix. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely look at that. Oh, it's up in Canada.
Fun, of course, yeah. Why wouldn't Ice Road not be in Canada?
But everybody, thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you to everybody who has ever listened to an episode. Thank you to Vinny. Thank you to Ryan.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Buddy.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you so much.
You're my precious little cherub.
Yeah. Everybody have a good rest of your week. We will be back next week with another episode. Always remember to check out the Furloughed Film Talks Instagram at Furloughed Film Talks and Twitter at Furloughed Film. Be safe. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Adios, amigos. All right, shall we for celebration?